Hey guys, this is Brandon at The Edge Pro, and today I'm going to talk about replacing the brushes on the K9 2. This would also be for the K9 3s and several other dryers that take this similar style motor. One issue we have is when we change the brushes. That's a pretty standard maintenance part. A lot of times your clipper dryer repairman can do that, or there are definitely some people out there, some groomers out there that are doing it themselves. That's awesome, but there is kind of a trick to it. Some of you that have changed the dryer or changed the brushes yourself have run into this issue. So I just want to show you a little bit of what we do when we're changing this. I've cheated a little bit on this dryer, and I've already taken out the motor, so I'm not having to do all of this inside this dryer. But this is what we're doing. It's just going to be for the top motor. This is going to translate really well. For the bottom motor, it's the same thing. Your arms are just all tightened up and down in this canister over here. So one of the issues we run into is when we go to take this white wire, this tab that goes into the brush, what happens is when we go to wedge it out, we end up bending this little brass hook right here. And so something I do to combat that is, the first thing I do is I put my screwdriver right here, so it's kind of bridging between this brass hook and this crimped in, and I just push straight down. So once I push straight down, that already loosens it up a little bit for me to be able to move it the rest of the way. And then what I do is I continue to keep it bridged between the crimp and between the hook, because if we push on the hook, the frustration that a lot of people have run into is that hook will start bending up and then it'll eventually break off, and that turns a very simple standard basic maintenance repair into more of a headache. So what I'm going to do is bridge this screwdriver between the crimp and the hook. I push straight down to break it loose a little bit, and now we're going to take and push it in towards the motor, just like that. And now it's loose for us to be able to undo. So we'll just undo these screws real quick. Just takes a couple seconds. That takes off. Whoops. This bracket that holds the brush in, and then we can take our brush out. And that's a full, never been used before brush there. Yeah, and so that's the process of taking it out. When we go to put it back in, it really is essentially the same process. We'll put our brush back in there, and we'll screw that down, and then I'm going to put the screwdriver in the same spot, bridging both of the crimp and the hook, and then push it up against the plastic there. And that completes our repair for the brush replacement on the K9 dryers. Again, this is like the top motor. There's two motors in this canister over here, and so that would be the easy one that's easy to get to here. To get to this second motor does become a lot more challenging, and you guys can probably figure that one out on your own. But yeah, that just shows you something, a little bit of a trick that we do here on a pretty common issue that we run into. Thank you guys for watching. Hope that helps you on your brush replacements on your dryers. And if it does, feel free to hit the thumbs up button, like it, subscribe to our page, and we'll make sure to be putting more videos out there like this one.